Stephen Harper is changing the cynical perceptions of politics held by many voters. He is actually delivering to Canadians on the promises that he made in the last election. His long list of accomplishments in 2.5 short years of government are truly impressive. Thanks to his guidance, the government has passed the toughest anti-corruption legislation in Canadian history. He has cut taxes. He has delivered meaningful support for families. He's addressed the needs of new Canadians by cutting the landing fee in half, creating the Canadian Foreign Credentials Referral Office, and devoting more resources to the processing of permanent resident applications. He has stood up for our brave men and women in uniform. And ladies and gentlemen, he has cracked down on crime. The steady, confident, and shrewd leadership of Stephen Harper is keeping our economy strong and our jobs secure in these increasingly uncertain economic times. Friends, this is no time to change the captain of our ship of state. I am proud to be a member of Stephen Harper's team, and we are all proud to be supporters of our leader and our government. Please join me in a warm Mississauga welcome to our current and future Prime Minister, Stephen Harper.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bonsoir. Good evening, friends, fellow Conservatives, fellow Canadians. First of all, let me begin by thanking tonight a number of the organizers, Karma McGregor, Jody McDonald, Mike Trace, David Brown, and all of the people who have worked for them for giving us such a fantastic crowd. This is a great event. I'd also like to thank Wajid for getting us started tonight. Wajid has made a great addition to our team in Ottawa. He's a great help to us. He's going to be a great leader for the campaign in this area in the next federal election campaign. So give him a big hand. And I'd like to, as well, spend a moment to give a thank you to the man who was kind enough to introduce me. He is a well-respected lawyer with one of the country's leading firms. He played a key role in the creation of our new United Party. In fact, I met Bob many, many years ago when he was trying to push the idea of getting Conservatives in one tent before most people were. And he's also... And he is also a community-conscious Conservative who understands what matters most to hardworking Canadian taxpayers and their families, and with your help, friends, he will be the next Member of Parliament for Mississauga, Arundel, Bob Decker. Now, friends, it's great to be back in Mississauga, which I'm told is now Canada's 6th largest city in population, sometimes called the city that Hazel built. Anyway, I see that Canada's longest-serving mayor is with us tonight. We appreciate you coming out. Give her a big hand. I even told her she dressed appropriately for the occasion. Believe it or not, I can remember a time before Hazel was the mayor. That was when I was growing up as a teenager way back next door in Etobicoke. But friends, speaking of longevity, who would have believed that after over 2.5 years, this government, this minority government, is still in office? We are now Well, we've checked it out. We've had the argument with CBC and a couple of others. We are now the longest serving minority government in the history of the Canadian Parliament. Et en plus, nous sommes demeurés en fonction, non pas en refusant de prendre des risques, mais en faisant preuve de leadership et en obtenant des résultats, en demeurant fidèles à nos principes et à notre programme au Parlement, peu importe si les libéraux se présentaient ou non pour voter. And friends, what's more, we have stayed in office, not by playing it safe, but by being bold, providing leadership, getting things done, by sticking to our principles, by sticking to our agenda in Parliament, whether or not the Liberals show up to vote. Now, friends, since the throne speech last fall, we have been pursuing 5 major priorities, and I want to take a few minutes tonight to remind you of some of the things we've been doing as part of that 5-part agenda, to remind you of where we are leading our great country. First and foremost, we are leading our economy forward, led, of course, by the Minister of Finance, Jim Flaherty. Now, as you all know, the world economy, especially the United States, is going through some uncertain times, and we are feeling some of them. But make no mistake, the long-term economic fundamentals of Canada are strong. Interest rates and inflation remain low and stable. Employment is at near record levels. Unemployment, the national unemployment rate, is very near the lowest it's been in 3 decades. We are paying down debt. Do you know that this government has paid off over $37 billion in public debt? And friends, we are the only G7 country, in fact we're the only one close, we are the only one running a balanced budget in the world right now. Now, the reason we have a balanced budget, friends, is because we reject the politics of the opposition, the politics of tax and spend. Instead, we are carefully targeting new investments to get results. Here in the GTA, for instance, our government is providing over $100 million this year alone for local infrastructure projects through the federal gas tax. We are investing nearly $1 billion in FLOW, the long-term public transportation action plan for the GTA, including a Mississauga rapid bus corridor and the Brampton Acceleride. We're supporting cultural institutions like Toronto's famous world-renowned film festival, as well as the Golden Horseshoe's bid for the 2015 Pan Am Games. But friends, if there's one thing we've done that I'm particularly proud of, it's that we have done these things while reducing taxes. We started just as we promised, but 3 years ahead of schedule, by cutting the GST from 7 to 6 to 5%. Of course, the GST isn't the only tax we've cut. We've dropped the lowest income tax bracket, raised the basic personal exemption. We brought in important income tax credits for transit passes, tools, textbooks, kids' sports. In fact, we brought in tax credits for all dependent children, as well as the $100 a month allowance paid to every single family for every single preschool child in this country. We've introduced special tax reduction measures for our seniors, including, for the first time in Canadian history, income splitting for this country's pensioners. And here's a number for you. Do you know that thanks to the measures we have brought in, the average working family in Canada is now paying over $3,000 less per year in federal taxes since we took office? Tax cuts will continue to kick in. Our plan is to reduce in the next couple of years the overall federal tax burden to the lowest level it's been since the 1960s, since before